I believe that 2023 has the potential to be an extremely transformative year for those that are willing to go into their own shadows, to let go of old patterns, to then make a new choice about who they are. And I think 2022 brought up a lot of things for people in the sense that like old outdated patterns that maybe just didn't work anymore. And there's stories, I think, too, that a lot of people have that are on autopilot from the past that are blocking people from really like stepping into their purpose in a new way, stepping into their power in a new way. And I think that 2023 has the potential to be one of the most powerful, transformative years of your life if you're willing to step into courage, if you're willing to step into vulnerability even. How many of you have been going through, over the last week or two, a process of sharing vulnerably with people how you feel, maybe setting boundaries? Many of you may very soon be going through that, the holiday season, where you're going to be around family members and friends, where it may bring up old childhood dynamics. It may bring up old things that were never said in the past. And maybe this year is a year of really stepping into and expressing a new version of yourself. And think about how freeing that is too. It's so freeing to express the real you. This last 2 weeks for me have been a matter of really stepping into a new level of leadership and a new level of myself where I just vulnerably express either how I feel, what my boundaries are, things that normally maybe didn't feel safe to express. Now it's so much easier to do because it's a new time on the planet. I believe that 2023 also, there's just so many people waking up in the world. There's so many people waking up to their having spiritual awakenings. And part of that means that as people wake up, we can give ourselves more and more permission to really be who we came here to be. So that's, I think, the theme. What are the themes that many of you are noticing? Comment and let me know what themes you're noticing in your life right now. See is it similar things? Yeah, 2023, I think, is like the year. I made a story about it today. But the moment you start it, the moment you are it. The moment I started back in 2017 making daily videos on YouTube, I was doing it because it's who I prefer to be. It's the most authentic version of me was the version of me making videos. And as I started to embody it, that's when my outer reality began to change. Realize your outer reality is simply a reflection of your inner reality. And you get in life a reflection of who you are being. And if you give yourself permission to be the version of you that is the most expressive, the version of you that has the most courage, the version of you that is the most vulnerable version of you, you'll find that then reality changes on the outside. But the thing that I recommend, though, is really focus on being it because it's who you prefer to be, not of what it will get you. Expand your identity is the name of this live. 2023, expand your identity. And how many YouTube videos did I say, my name's Aaron and I help people expand their consciousness? The truth of the matter is consciousness can't really be expanded because it already is. But you can expand your awareness of it. Now, with your identity, one of the strongest human desires there is, and one of the strongest forces there is to remain consistent to the way you define yourself. It's a Tony Robbins quote. We want to remain consistent to how we define ourselves. So if you define yourself as someone who plays small, then to do something big will seem, that's not me, bro. I used to define myself as a 9-to-5 job goer. And guess what? My thoughts, my feelings, and my actions were in complete alignment with that reality. When people talk about alignment, understand that you may be in a complete alignment. When people say, oh, you're out of alignment, you're not out of alignment really ever. You're always in alignment. You just might be in alignment with an identity that isn't the most authentic version of you. You might be completely aligned to a 9-to-5 job you don't like. You might be completely aligned to a story that you're single or a relationship that doesn't serve you. You may be in complete alignment to that, but you're in alignment. The key is becoming in alignment with the highest vibrational version of you and what that means for you. So the question is not, are you in alignment? The question is, what are you in alignment with? In 2023, I believe it's about becoming in alignment with a more expanded version of you. But the keys to doing that have to do with making a choice about who you are and stepping forward in that way. Now, what is one thing all of you want to wire in 2023 that is more in alignment with how you prefer to be, with who you believe you came here to be? Let me see. Learning unhealthy conflict is better than unhealthy peace. Interesting. Yeah. Let's see. People are trying to fill the emptiness in themselves with food on the ship, not a judgment, just an observation. Yeah, I think a lot of food is dopamine, sugar, dopamine. We're becoming so addicted to dopamine nowadays. Recently, I went through like a week or two where I just barely went my phone at all because I was like, I need to detox from all of this stimulation. Because realize this about dopamine too. In 2023, wherever you put your attention is where you put your energy. So if you're putting the energy into scrolling on social media, comparing yourself to other people, video games, pornography, or whatever, it's scattering your attention. Your attention is your energy. Your energy is what's feeding your reality. And unless you're feeding a vision for what you want by having the long form of there's ways of prolonging dopamine and having a long tail effect on dopamine, which is the slow, steady things you do every day. Go to the gym, that releases dopamine. Go to and focus on yoga. You feel more in alignment with the most authentic, high vibrational version of you. Focusing on growing your passion, whatever that is. Getting in the frequency of passion. When I make YouTube videos, there's a feeling of dopamine that I get from making them. Dopamine isn't bad. But it's being aware of the quick-winded dopamine and needing it. Because what happens is when you flood yourself with dopamine over and over and over again and comparing yourself on social media and all of this stuff, what ends up happening is you lower your baseline dopamine to where you need more and more dopamine to feel good. And then there's a lowered baseline. One of the ways to raise your baseline dopamine is to focus more on simplifying and desensitizing your life in some ways. Some of that might mean, if you start eating really like unhealthy food, for example, if you start eating like deep fried foods, sugary foods, then you're going to go back to eating something very simple like a potato, and you'll be like, why the hell would I eat a potato? I don't feel any dopamine when I eat potatoes, but it's because you've set the bar so high with sugary stuff. So instead, what you do is you start to get down to the basics. What I do is I ground myself in grass. I go out in nature. I lay in the sun. I read. It's one form of dopamine that I find healthy. Reading. Normally also reading things that help me learn more about myself. Books on awareness. These things help you by choosing consciously what you want and what you focus on. You're choosing where you put your energy. Thank you guys also I see a lot of birthday wishes. You guys probably got the email that I sent out earlier. So I appreciate you guys. If you didn't know as well, for 2023, I put together a thing where every course I've ever created, every meditation I've ever created, you can get right meow by just clicking the link in my bio. And that's specifically to help you wire in a new you. This is like a Black Friday birthday special. My birthday's tomorrow on Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is like generally a day of gratitude. So I'm combining the forces of those three things for the craziest deal I've ever done. That includes the shift experience, by the way. The shift experience is a step-by-step process is how to shift out of your old beliefs and identity into a completely new reality. a version of you where you're present and also where you're living the life that you want. So if you want to embody the freedom to be you, the freedom of also the ideal person that you came here to be, and shift out of the past and to become emotionally free, then you can get that plus like 13 other courses plus every meditation I've ever made by clicking the link in my bio or going to, just click the link in my bio if you're interested in that. Because today is the day to join for that. How do you overcome distractions? Oh wait, there's Q&A stuff. How do you overcome distractions is you start being aware of where your energy is, and every time you become distracted, you become aware that you're distracted. That's pretty much it. You become aware that you're distracted, and as you become aware you're distracted, you can then choose not to be distracted. You can become aware of it and then choose to actually stay focused on what you're doing. Every time I become aware of like, oh, I need to get on my phone or something, the moment I become aware that I'm trying to distract myself is the moment I can actually say, oh wait, I can put down my phone and I can go focus on something I'm actually passionate about, something that actually brings up my soul in a positive way. Does that make sense? When are you doing another live shift experience? Probably in the beginning of 2023. We're looking at that right now. I like your reel about timeline. Start now. Yeah, start. That's like the message of 2023. Start. Don't let procrastination, perfectionism hold you back any longer. It's there to keep you safe and it's there to keep you in familiar territory. Instead, let it go. Let it go and allow yourself to be that bold, shining star you came here to be. The shining, heart-opened, vulnerable version of you. Heron says, your courses and challenges are amazing. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, the difference between the courses and YouTube videos is YouTube videos are just like theories and ideas. Some of it's practical, but the courses like show you step by step what to do to either go through healing processes, meditations, breath work. There's so many modalities that are powerful, but literally everything I've ever created, every meditation I've ever created, every course I've ever created, including the shift experience, is in my bio right now. If you go click my link in bio for the Black Friday, birthday, Thanksgiving special thing I'm doing. Let's see, do you have any other questions? How do you prevent going back to the old habits? That's a great question. A lot of people go back to old habits because of familiarity. The key is becoming aware of the old identity, becoming aware of the old habits, and then making a new choice. If you could really just boil down transformation, it's awareness and choices. That's it. You get the awareness of a pattern, and then you make a new choice. I became aware in 2017. I was working a 9-to-5 job I didn't enjoy, and guess what? I experienced a reality that was equal to that, and then I became aware of that, and then I made a new choice. I decided I am a YouTuber now. Every single day I made a video on YouTube, and that's when my life began to change, because I was being it because it's who I choose to be. I was talking to an Uber driver when I was in LA. This Uber driver that I met was so inspiring because she was so passionate about being an Uber driver, and she was like, what I get to help people do is she has this blue car, and she told me the science on blue and the different shades of blue and how transformational blue is. But what she did is she has a vibe in her car that was so positive, and she had such a positive energy that I literally, just from being around her, it was the most positive Uber drive I've ever had. And she's like, my goal is to transform people's lives through just driving them to different places, to driving them where they need to be, and helping them to feel good with energy, with inspiration and stuff. And she wasn't being like pushy and annoying or anything like that. She was just a very positive person. I remember talking to her and I was like, damn, this lady, she would be, from talking to her, she was so good with talking and just being so personable. I remember just thinking to myself, I'm like, man, she could do so many other things if she didn't like being an Uber driver, but she loved it. She told me one time she got offered a job from a guy that owned a furniture store to come sell for her, and this dude was like, I will give you a job on the spot right now, and I believe you will make 7 figures a year. 7 figures a year is $1 million a year. And you wanna know what she said? She said, why would I do that? She goes, why would I go do all of that? She's like, she's not in it for the money. She just loved being an Uber driver. She was so passionate about it. She's like, if anything, I'd be a spokesperson for Uber because I love Uber so much. Uber's so transformative. That's what she just kept saying. And it was so clear to me that she wasn't an Uber driver just for the money. She just loved it. She loved talking to people. She was so personable. She literally believed that she was transforming people's lives by driving them to different places. And the vibe of her car and the vibe of her, absolutely, she's doing that. Wherever you are right now, you can let that be your point of presence. Even when I was in LA, I got tattoos. I got a couple of them. I posted them on my story recently. And the tattoo artist that I use, amazing tattoo artist, his name's Constantine, and he is a master at what he does. Incredible, the work that he does, and also just his presence. It's very intimate. He's got his own studio in LA. And I go there, and he has all these things he's passionate about. He's passionate about, he flies helicopters, and he's like a flight instructor. He flies planes. He's a flight instructor for planes. He tattoos, and he's booked out a year, literally a year, 6 or 8 months ago, I got the appointment. And I've been waiting, because that's how booked out he is. He just does what he loves, and he was telling me that sometimes tattoo artists, they want to become tattoo artists for the wrong reasons. They want the money. They want the notoriety. They want the chicks or whatever it is that comes with it. And it was so awesome, how high his integrity was, because he was he loves the art. He loves the connecting with people. He's I believe tattoos are transformational. He's literally it's a transformation for someone to get a tattoo. And just from getting one a couple days ago, I can tell you it is a very transformative identity shift experience. Also, I'm wiring in the words and the quote or whatever. I feel like it's a way of expressing my own inner world. But I can see how powerful and transformative it is. But he does it, but it's who he is. It's an energy, it's a present moment energy. So let 2023 be an opportunity for you to tap into the energy of you starting whatever you're passionate about, and also letting you be who you came here to be, and doing it because it's who you came here to be, not because of what it'll get you. When you're doing something because of what it'll get you, that's manipulation. The key to everything for 2023, I believe, is making a new choice. It's becoming aware of past patterns, becoming aware of the past, the familiar energies you might be fighting for, and then making a new choice about who you are. And making the new choice about who you are because it's who you prefer to be, not what it'll get you. This year, I've been letting go of this identity around being a YouTuber. It's been hard. I went from 7 videos a week on YouTube for 3 or 4 years down to 5 videos a week, down to 3 videos a week, and pretty soon I'm going to be at 1 video a week on YouTube. Why? Because it's my goal, it's an intention I have to break out of just the mold and the addiction that I have towards just being a YouTuber. It's brought me so much safety to be on YouTube and to be making daily videos on YouTube that I'm afraid to let it go. But I'm afraid to let it go because there's a part of me that is afraid of the unknown. And the new aspect of myself I know is me doing live events, me running more retreats, me having more in-person things, more dynamic things, also challenging myself. I've made 2,000 YouTube videos. To me, it's kind of like a blab. I've just been doing it so long. And never again will I make a video on YouTube, by the way, on no contact, all the shit that brought so much growth with the attract love content. I don't really make attract love videos anymore. Why? Because I'm just not passionate about talking about it anymore. Even though it gets views. Even though I could right now make a video that says 3 signs, no contact is gonna attract love or some shit, and then it'll be a whole bunch of views. I don't care. I'm over it. I don't want to talk about that anymore. Ever again. I don't want to talk about attracting love anymore. I just want to talk about whatever the fuck I'm passionate about talking about in the moment. Maybe eventually it comes up and I'm passionate about that, but I doubt it. I talk about consciousness, awareness, creating your dream reality, removing the blocks, removing the childhood patterns that have been keeping you back. Those are the things I'm passionate about. They don't necessarily get as many views, but I don't care. I don't care anymore. I just want to do what I'm passionate about. And I believe that in 2023, I think it's a part where you can let what makes you different be what allows you to shine. Not doing what everyone else is doing, owning who you are. How in 2023 can you own who you are? What's your advice for new content creators? To start making videos. Don't wait till you have 10 videos banked up and then release them. Start now. Start meow. Start now. Start meow. Just start. The moment you start it, the moment you are it. Does that make sense? Also, my buddy Victor Otto and I, we're doing a free training on Friday at 11 o'clock in the morning Central Time, 9 o'clock Pacific Time, on how to go full-time doing what you love. We're doing a free hour and a half training. If you want to check that out, go to www.fulltimepurpose.com. www.fulltimepurpose.com. Yes, I'll be doing more live events for sure. How do you stay high vibe when you're in a low vibe situation? So sometimes what that is sometimes we feel stuck. And one of the reasons we feel stuck is because we believe we're stuck. Because we think that something that's happened in our life is a problem and it shouldn't be there. But instead, if you think that that's a part of the process, then guess what happens? It begins to transform the resistance. Sometimes the only reason we're stuck is because we believe we're stuck and we keep telling ourselves that what we're experiencing isn't a part of the process. One of the things that can also be powerful for that is changing your environment. Changing who's around you, going out in nature, changing your state can be powerful. But in general, to make permanent transformation or change, it's awareness. It's becoming aware of the energy, becoming aware of how you feel. A lot of times people will be in anger, in certain energies, guilt, shame, anger, whatever it is, and they're not aware of it. That's when they're really trapped. When if you become aware of it, you can then make a new choice. Remember, transformation is about awareness and then a new choice. That's it. Transformation, awareness of the pattern, of the past, of the familiar energies, and then a new choice about who you are. That creates transformation. With that being said, like I mentioned, if you want the step-by-step process of how to transform the shift experience, a lot of what we've been talking about today, the shift experience alone can help you do that. All you do is click the link in my bio. Right Meow is the best thing. It's the best deal I've ever offered ever. It's every course I've ever created, every meditation I've ever created, lifetime access to it. If you click the link in my bio, Right Meow. Other than that, I hope you guys have an amazing day today. I'm gonna go to the gym. I just got back in Austin and I haven't been to the gym. I actually went to the gym in LA once, but I need to go have a good workout at the gym. That's what I'm excited to do in this moment. Eat some breakfast, go do that, and then other stuff. And other than that, I hope you guys all have an amazing Thanksgiving. Thank you guys all for the birthday wishes and all of that. I really appreciate you. And other than that, yeah, I love you guys. Peace, much love, namaste.